Hello. Welcome to the Simply Together show. It is the 28th of January and it is peeing down with rain. Literally peeing down with rain. It's horrible out there. But I had a conversation with somebody earlier on about the weather because they are in Ireland and obviously it's been really bad. And I actually said, see, there are perks to living in Luton. We have some perks. We don't have that weather that some other places do. So we have got the lovely Jenny on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. How are you, Nikkei?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm excited for the show. I'm hoping the rain is going to die down before it's time to go home.
Nah. All day it's going to rain. Not that I know that for true, but you never know. And we have got the lovely Shelley in the background. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just trying to do all the sharing and stuff. Not quite gone out with the dog yet. It's meant to ease off in a little bit with the rain. So, yeah.
Oh, is it? See, it's going to ease off and then you're going to go out and then it's going to start and then you're going to get wet.
It'll chuck it down. Within, I suppose, about 5 minutes of me leaving the house, it'll absolutely hammer it down.
That's what happened to me yesterday morning. Literally. And it was actually quite funny because it was quite bright when I left. And I'm saying, oh, it's really bright. Look at it. It's not very dark. And literally before I got to the end of my road, it had gone dark and the heavens had opened.
So what do you do with your camera then when you're out and it's raining?
Well, it's iPhone, so it's just.
What does that mean? I don't have an iPhone. What does that mean?
Yeah, they could get wet. They don't. Yeah, I mean obviously you're not supposed to use it in water, but yeah.
Okay. I don't have an iPhone. I have another generic.
I'm sure it's the same for Android as well. But
mine can be in showers, but it could be immersed and back out again, but it's not. Okay. Yeah, you can't then use it in water. But yeah.
Oh, I need to check on mine then.
It might be.
Okay, so we have had lovely Jenny on our show a couple of times. Come in to tell us all about MND, motor neuron disease, and how it's affecting you, the things that you're doing, the fundraising. So we wanted to get you back to just give us a bit of a catch up, let us know what's happening. So yeah, tell us what's happening with you.
Where should I start?
Wherever.
Well, we'll start with where I am, maybe with the disease.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can hear in my voice that I progressed somewhat. My voice is a lot slower. It's quite an effort to get the words out. And quite often I will tail off the end of a word. So if during the show you don't know what I said, don't be embarrassed. Just say, can you say that again? And okay. I'll do it again. If I talk for a long amount of time, my voice stops coming out of my mouth and comes out of my nose. And you really won't understand that. But on the plus side, I can still talk and you still know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So 3 years in, I've just passed 3 years diagnosed in September. Some people, about 50%, don't live that long.
Wow.
So I am smashing it.
You are.
So that's my voice. Eating's getting harder. I'm still doing that independently.
Yeah.
I've had to be careful about what I eat. I eat a lot of saucy foods to make it easier to swallow. So curries, casseroles, but no crusty bread or pizza. And unfortunately, I can't eat chocolate anymore.
Oh my God.
It sticks to the roof of my mouth. And because my tongue doesn't work, I can't get it out. So I melt it in hot chocolate and eat it that way. There's always a different way to approach things. So that's that. My right arm is quite weak now. My grip is not good. But I can still use it, but not for heavy things or fine pizza like a clothes peg. I can't squeeze it.
Yeah.
And recently, maybe in the last 6 months, I've had a few falls. Not awful, more hat pride than anything. But since I've been doing my fundraising Dorothy aid in January, I've noticed I started to catch my toe when I walk, which is a sign a lot of people with M&G get, that is going into your legs.
Right.
But because I'm progressing slowly, hopefully I've got a lot more walking in me yet. So that's where I am in me. Still smiling most of the time.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. I think the fact that you've already had a 3-year anniversary and you're still independent is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I'm very aware of how fortunate I am because people that I know who were diagnosed around the same time as me, very sadly, 2 of them have died. So it makes you really conscious of a kind of why me feeling. Why am I still so well when we've all got the same disease? However, I think MAD is a bit like autism, an umbrella disease, because we are all different.
Yeah. And there's all going to be all different stages, isn't there? And people are going to go through it quicker than some, and some are not so. Do you think that your cold water bath thing is helping?
Well, when I first started to do it, I got the inspiration because I read that there's a theory cold water shock gives the mitochondria in your cells a kick up the bum. And part of MND's, part of your issues is your mitochondria is not working properly. Mitochondria is like your energy, your batteries in your cells. So I thought, oh, I'll give it a go and see. I don't know if it's helping. There's no test to do. But what I do know is it helps my mental health. I think resilience-wise, if you can get in cold water, which is something no one wants to do, you can do most things. And after you get out of the cold water and your body starts to reheat naturally, you get such a wonderful feeling. You feel energized. And for me, fatigue's a big part of M&D. So if I can feel energized for a few hours, that's a big tick.
Yeah.
So that's a long way of saying, Cecile, I've got no idea if physically it helps, but it does in here.
Mentally. And that's a big part of life, isn't it? You know, your mental well-being is good, then that is your part way onto everything, because actually when that starts to, as we know, I'm a therapist, you know, other people have got mental health, we've got it all around us, and if you're struggling with that, it affects every other avenue of your life.
I mean, if nothing else, if my mental health is okay, it makes me a better person to live with for all my family.
Yeah.
I mean, a terminal diagnosis is not great, but I don't want to be defined by that. I want to still be mum and daughter and partner.
Yeah.
And keeping your mental health relatively balanced is a big part of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, with what you're doing, I mean, right from the very beginning, in the comments and things, I did put a link to your, like, the Fab MMD group, because you've done this awareness and fundraising pretty much right from the start, and that's kind of it gives you something. It pushes you along. So whether that's you're constantly thinking about it, but you're actually physically doing things. Your brain is doing things as well. And yes, it does take a lot out of you, but you know yourself, that you've said it yourself, that it is something that you wanted just to keep sharing and keep doing, because it's buoying you along. We have another link there as well to the Doddy AIDS charity there as well. Has that been from the beginning of this year?
Yeah, well, what they do every year in January, they launch Doddy AIDS for 1 month. And basically, you just got to move, walk, cycle, swim, whatever, and you log your miles. But you pit yourself against other teams to see who covers the most miles.
Wow.
And there's quite a few celebs do it, because I don't know if you've heard of Doddy Weir, but he was a rugby player who had M&D. Sadly died just over 2 years ago, but he set up the Doddy Foundation and has had quite a few celebrity friends, and they've kept it going for him. And now it's grown into quite a significant charity that I think to date they've donated about 11 million to M&D research.
Wow.
That does sound a lot, but a regular drug trial costs about 4 million.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think people realise how much drug research costs. And that's why, people keep popping up for various diseases or simple money.
Okay, that makes sense then, doesn't it? Because it's so expensive. That's why so many people want the donations.
Yeah.
So can they only do not just M&D, but obviously other illnesses as well? Can they only do drug trials for money? Do they get money from the government, or is it literally donations?
Well, it's a bit of a thorny subject. Big pharma, like GlaxoSmithKline or AstraZeneca, now they would generally fund. Hold on, kettle's going on. Sorry. They would normally fund a drug trial because obviously at the other end of it, they'll get their money. But for diseases like M&D, people say it's a rare disease. Actually, it's about 1 in 300 people will get M&D. So if you go to a cinema, one person in a full cinema will get M&D. Okay, that's giving you a bit of perspective.
Yeah.
So, and also you've got to think, I've got M&D, but I'm not the only one affected. My family, my friends are affected too, so it touches a lot more people than 1 in 300.
Yeah.
But for a drug company, 1 in 300 people get an M&D. 6 people a day are diagnosed, but 6 people a day die. So roughly, there's about 5,000 people with MND. For a drug company, that isn't a big payback.
No.
So, unfortunately, we're not in Disneyland, and we got to be realistic. Drug companies aren't keen to invest, so we rely on charity and government funding, but the government are a bit tight.
Of course they are.
I mean, if you put it in context, the one drug that we get prescribed when we're diagnosed extends our life by an average of about 3 months. That is not effective.
No.
And that is the only drug we've got that was developed in 1998. So nearly 30 years on, we still have nothing else.
That's terrible.
So basically, the tagline is MND is not incurable, it's just underfunded.
Wow. That is, that's terrible, isn't it? That's
It's a bitter pill to swallow, but that's life. I mean, if everyone knows about cancer, because I'm sure we all know someone that's had it, got it, died from it. But not everyone knows someone with MND.
Yeah.
So why would you be bothered if you think, oh, it won't happen to me?
Yeah. Because if they're looking at profit, and obviously some, research developers and medication and all of that, they're looking for profit. So you're going to go for the 1 in 2 than the 1 in 300.
Yeah. And also, if you look at cancer, what you're trying to do is kill a growth of bad cells. So I'm not saying that's easy, but it's pretty clear cut, isn't it? Get rid of the bad cells. For M&D, you're trying to keep cells alive. And that's a lot harder because you can't take them out, put in new ones. You've got to work out A, why they're dying, and B, how you can regenerate them. So it's also much more complex disease.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing, that for cancer, it is something that they can tackle. Some are easier than others, so some will always get better funding because it's a better outcome for that funding. Things like MMD and things like Parkinson's is where it's cells that are being attacked by themselves. It's that process. There's not one thing there that can be done. And things like Parkinson's, where they were then saying about having the new cells kind of like put in and the bone marrow and everything else, that all then people then start panicking about that being looked into as well. So there's so much that, as you say, for technically a small amount of people, that it's just not. It's not a good look.
No.
And it's so frustrating because, as you say, that the amount of the time that you don't know how long you're going to get or not, but how that affects the family, how that affects your care, the money that you're getting spent on care and things, because you've been lucky that you've been quite independent. And we were just saying just before we came online, actually, just how independent you are and you're not stopping doing what you want to do. But for some people, that it can be that they're in and out of hospital, they've got full-time care at home, they're having to have money spent on their houses to put all these different pieces of equipment in and things.
And unfortunately, sorry to interrupt, but for people with house adaptations and care, what I found is it depends where you live and your council's policies. So I haven't gone down that route yet. I will do eventually. I'm not sure if I want to know what Central Best Council's policies are yet, because I won't get prematurely upset. But I've seen some people. I read today a lady up north somewhere has been waiting 4 months for her council to decide, not do it, just decide if they will fund her wheelchair ramp. And while she's waiting, she's stuck in the house. I mean, that is inhumane. Whatever your financial situation is or not, you shouldn't be trapped in your home.
No.
And then someone somewhere else will get that within a month.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
We need to get Nike on the case, because she likes to do that research and find out who's doing what and who's not doing what.
Let's have a look.
You like a bit of a challenge, don't you?
Indeed. We're practicing focus, so that would be a very useful exercise.
It's a postcode lottery, isn't it? Because it depends on where you live. It also depends on how much money your council's still got in their pockets. You know, it's whether they've spent it all on flipping, I don't know, all sorts of things, and whether they're able to then do that. But that person is then stuck in the house. Literally stuck in the house. How is that even fair? That's So fingers crossed that central beds are nice.
I've got everything crossed, but I know they spent a lot of money on a new flood prevention system that didn't work. So I'm not holding out much hope.
Of course they did. Oh, Lord. Oh, right. Okay. So, because I don't want to keep you too long, you've told us about you and what changes have happened, and you told us about fundraising. Tell us about education. What have you been doing?
Well, when I got diagnosed, I was about halfway through my PhD. But at the time of diagnosis and shortly after that, it kind of paled into insignificance. I thought it's not important. I won't have a career to use it in, so why bother? But after all the dust settled and I started to get me back, I started to think, why half finish something? And also, I needed to keep my brain active. So after a year out, I picked it up again. And in December the 11th last year, just before Christmas, I successfully defended my thesis.
Ooh,
So
I love it.
I'm Dr. Starkey.
Oh, wow.
Woo, woo, woo!
Oh, that's amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Dr. Starkey. Fantastic.
It's actually, I hope, going to help me a bit in what I'm doing for M&D, because I do a bit of fundraising, like for example Deez, but you know, Cecile, I went mad in that first year.
Yeah.
And today, myself, friends and family, we've raised about 22.5 grand. But there's only so much you can ask of people, however much they love you.
Yeah.
So I started to turn my attention to research because I know my PhD isn't medical, but research is research.
Yeah.
I know how it works. I understand time scales and terminology. So I offered myself as a patient representative. I've got involved with Sheffield Uni and I'm a co-applicant on 3 of their M&D research studies and Geordie Foundation. They've invited me to sit on their research committee. Last October, I helped them decide who to award £4 million of research funding to. So the fact now that I've got doctor in front of my name, if I choose to use it, makes me look like I know what I'm doing.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
And I
That's funny.
think it's so important to have a patient involved because
Yes.
however much a researcher thinks they know, the person that knows best is the person living
Yeah.
with the
100%.
disease.
Yeah.
So little kind of like finer details and things they plan to do. You often hear me pipe up, hang on a minute, not a good idea. I hope I'm doing the M&D community a service while I can.
Which is what you said right from diagnosis, is you wanted to put back in or you needed to take out. You've done that with fundraising. You're now doing that with your knowledge, Dr. Starkey, with your knowledge, you know, so you're yeah, I just think you're doing absolutely fantastic. It's brilliant.
Well, I'm keeping myself busy.
Yeah.
And I used to hear people who'd retired say, oh, I don't know where I found the time to work. And I used to not really get it, but I do now. You think you've actually got more time than you have got in a week. I have to give myself a talking to sometimes and say, Jen, you need a rest day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm so eager to cram as much living in as I can.
Did you just change that, Shelley? Look at that. Dr. Jenny Starkey. The thing is that as you've said since day one, you want to get as much in as you can before you're not able to.
Yeah.
So you still do need that rest day, and you have to remind yourself of that. But also, everybody around you knows that you just want to do as much as you can.
And I think as well, I know my body, and I know what this bloody disease takes away. So if I had planned, for example, Megan's graduation, I knew the next day I couldn't put anything in the diary.
Yeah.
So I accept the payoff of that. If I have a busy day or a couple of semi-busy days, then I need to have a day of nothing.
Yeah. And that's good because you know that. You know that. And you can then decide the things that you want to do as opposed to the things that you don't necessarily need to do. You know, and going to Megan's graduation was something that you needed to do and wanted to do and everything else. And the payoff is that next day you then just have to rest. Yeah. So you're going to have yours then at some point in the summer. So what is your PhD? What was the topic?
So it surrounds counter-terrorism.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
What I was looking at is a psychological theory called social categorization. And that means how we see ourselves and others. And if you think about it, if you're in a group of people that you've never met, what are some of the first questions you'll ask? What job do you do? Are you married? Do you have kids? Where do you live? Men might ask what car do you drive? What football team do you support? All of that is socially categorizing people, putting them in groups. And in a way, it's a lazy way of thinking, because not every nurse is the same person. Not every Spurs supporter is the same. But it's a quick and easy way of us thinking, oh yeah, they come from Houghton Regis, they're, not as good as Toddington or something, It's all a load of crap, really. But it's the way we think. So moving away from the basics of social categorization, you can probably imagine what we do in regards to terrorists and how we categorize them. And my thesis has a bit of a political slant because I spoke about the way the government and media encourage us to categorize people. For example, how Trump speaks about the Mexicans and how they need a war to keep the vermin out and, things like that. So my thesis was carried out my research UK, USA, India and Poland. And I did 5 studies all surrounding that theory, but also looking at how the media encourages us to socially categorize, not always in a good way. And I didn't come to any drastic conclusions, but one of my main ones was if you continue to be scared and worried that outgroups are threatening your way of life, policies that maybe aren't great will be accepted by you.
I know one person who's going to read that. That's her there, Nikkei. As soon as you go down the road of political, social media, all of that, I knew.
But it's true though. But it's true. It is. It's true. If you're conditioned enough, you will start to believe it, and then they will tell you, okay, this is what you need, and then you will accept it. We've watched it. We've watched it for the last 52 weeks.
I also
I can't wait.
about like CCTV and large-scale data collection and how we really don't know what is done with all that. But we are told, we need to do it to keep you safe. And we go, oh, okay then.
Wow. Look at Nikkei's face. Honestly, she is going to read it. Because that is
because those things are much more interesting than when you have spoken to the person who has done the research. Because I could go and get a book or something like that and read it. It's a book. It's like, oh, Cecile, Shelley, Jenny, did you see that? But because I didn't speak much today. I was more listening. But, I've spoken to Jenny before. You said she was coming on the show. I knew her. So automatically, I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be so interesting. Yeah, I will.
Wow.
So
I
shall be looking for it.
How long is it till it will be published?
Well, when you have your Bible, it's very rare to get told your thesis is perfect, publish it immediately. So you either get major corrections or minor. I got minor, but you ought to see the length of the list. I'd hate to see major corrections. So I've got 3 months to do that. I won't take 3 months. I want to get it done. And then I e-publish it with my institution, which is Liverpool Uni. And then my supervisor is talking about publishing in academic journals However, it might not be published as one whole thing because I did 5 studies.
Yeah.
We might do 5 separate papers, but we'll wait and see. I'll let you know.
Yes, you have to let us know.
Wonderful.
You have to let us know. That is absolutely fantastic. And I'm not surprised because I just think the determination that you have with everything that you do, of course you was going to get it finished and become a doctor, you know?
In my mind, it was doubtful because everyone I spoke to who's done a PhD has said, never do it. And halfway through, I absolutely hated it. My motivation was like up and down. But then when I done it, and my friend said, print it out and you'll fall in love again. And I did.
Wow.
But while you're doing it,
Yeah.
it seems the most hideous decision you've ever made.
Yeah.
It's such a grind. But I'm pleased I did it.
Good.
The temptation was, I don't need it now. I have no career, so why finish it? But I'm pleased that I did.
And actually, you do still have a career as such because you're doing research. You haven't stepped away and just sat there and said, I'm not doing anything. You're now doing, you're on all these different organizations and everything. That's still work. That is still work.
Yeah, I call it advocacy. I try and advocate for all the people with M&D who literally haven't got a voice or haven't got the mobility or energy. I'd like to think when I get to that stage, someone will be doing it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So we will get you back on and again with however that works. We will do that. We need to know when it's published. And just as usual, just share your stuff with us, whatever you're doing, and we will then share that as well. Shelley and Nikkei, anything else before we let Jenny go?
No, I'm just going.
I'm looking forward to.
I've got this doctor on it now.
I can't believe you changed that to doctor so quickly.
Well, that's okay.
You need to just. Have you got yourself a badge? I'm a doctor now.
No. No, why? I probably won't use the title. No, I'd use it if I was working in academia. It would be useful.
Yeah.
But I'm worried if people find out I'm a doctor, they might get the wrong end of the stick and think I can get them antibiotics. I'll have a queue outside my door. You know how hard it is to get a prescription.
They'll come running at you. Can you just look at this?
Yeah,
I've got a funny growth on my bottom.
Yes.
Have a look.
Can you just have a look? No, I don't think so. No.
That's funny.
But you are a doctor. You have got your PhD. It is absolutely, even if you don't want to use it all the time, you've got to shout it. You've got to shout it because it is something special. and you've worked damn hard for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's been wonderful having you on here. Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
You know, and look at the time. I thought we was going to do a short one today.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, exactly. Before you disappear, have we got anything we need to be sharing?
I think you've got my link.
Okay.
And really, for me, like a show like this is about awareness.
Yeah.
I want people to know MND isn't really that rare. 1 in 300 sounds a lot, but actually it's not.
No.
I know cancer's 1 in 2, but 1 in 300 is not really rare.
Yeah.
So people need to maybe understand a bit more about MND. I mean, I'm finding now when I'm in a shop or in public and I speak, people aren't sure what's going on.
Yeah.
Is she deaf? Is she drunk? You know, is she got learning needs? And I want to scream sometimes. Sony M&G, don't be scared.
Yeah.
Sometimes see people do a double take.
Yeah.
It's quite a misunderstood disease because Stephen bloody Hawkins lived for years, and that is not the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he had a very outlying form of MND.
Yeah, as you said earlier, it's definitely an umbrella term for kind of like what's going on. If you've met one person with MMD, that's their symptoms at that time.
Yeah.
And then you look at someone else. I mean, it could be like the voice goes first, or it could be that it's more like a stroke kind of thing that goes on. It's a weakness. Yeah, it is. It's
I mean, I went to Parliament. I forgot to tell you that for Doherty Foundation a few weeks back. They had an awareness evening in Parliament, and you're all invited, your local MP. Incidentally, one didn't reply to me or turn up, but never mind. Let's wait till I have to vote again now.
Yeah.
But anyway, when we were there after the presentation, there were 3 patients there, and we were encouraged to kind of move around the MPs and create a bit of gentle awareness.
Right.
And so I spoke to about 5 or 6 MPs, and they were surprised when I said I had M&D, because I'm probably not the stereotype they imagined.
Yeah.
So you're right, Shelley. We all have our own sort of experience of it.
Yeah. I think if anything anyone takes away from today is in that cinema, one person.
Yeah.
Because that puts it really into perspective.
Yeah.
And then think about all those people that one person knows.
Yeah.
And how being told, you know, not only if you've got a disease you'll die from, but we're not even going to give you a chance to fight it. we're not going to offer something equivalent to chemo radiotherapy because there isn't anything. And that kind of futility, feeling like, look, I've been dealt these cards, but I haven't been given anything to fight it with.
Yeah.
That doesn't only affect that one person, it affects everyone that loves them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
You've done
Thank
so
you.
well today.
Pardon?
Jenny, you've done so well today.
You have. You have.
Yeah.
You know, the we've been able to understand everything. You haven't tailed off with anything. You have just spoken and just gone for it. Thank you.
I won't talk all afternoon now.
Well, who's at home with you?
My partner, so he'll probably send you a little thank you message. I've got a quiet afternoon, thanks to you.
Well, yes, he can thank us for that. No, it has literally been absolutely wonderful having you on. And like I said, we will have you back on. We will have you back on. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Right, we are ending today. I think I need to go and have a lay down. It's just because we've been listening and listening, and there's been
I know.
We will be back next week, same time, and we will see you then. So, bye everybody.
Bye.